So, guys and gals, here in the UK, when we reach the age of 70, our driving licenses expire, and that also applies to our motorcycle licenses. But contrary to popular belief, over 70s don't have to retake any tests to get their driving license back. All they have to do is fill in a few forms, send them off, and then within a few days they'll get their shiny new license in the post. But there are loads of people that believe that over 70s should be retaking their tests. I mean, their reaction times aren't going to be as good as they used to be. Their sight isn't necessarily going to be as good as it used to be. So they need to be re-examined, right? Well, that's what we're going to discuss in today's video, guys and gals. We're going to jump on the wicked Kawasaki ZZR1400. And I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this very sensitive subject. So yeah, let's jump on. Let's go. You know what, guys and gals? I feel really, really sorry for over 70s here in the UK, because it's almost like society just forgets about them. Whenever there's some kind of economic downtime or something like that, it always seems to be the oldest in our communities that end up getting the worst end of everything. So, no, you know what? I'm sticking up for you lot. It is absolutely not right that, especially right now with all the ruckus that's been going on surrounding pensions and things. You know, my dad, he's not quite there yet at pension age, but he's getting there, and he's really, really worried about the repercussions that consecutive UK governments have done just to ruin pensions. I mean, you could make the argument that pensions have never ever been good ever since they were introduced, but alright, so in terms of the topic that we are discussing today, first of all, no, I don't actually believe that over 70s should need to retake their driving tests or their motorcycle tests in order to continue driving and continue riding. And the thing is, think about it this way, alright? It's very, very easy for younger people to turn and say, oh, elderly people, they don't know what they're doing, you know, they've lost all their senses, and you know, it's such an ageist argument to enforce testing for driving licenses for people that are over 70. And just keep this in mind, alright? If we end up changing any of these rules, we will get to that age, and we will have to suffer the same things that the current over 70s are suffering right now. So if we introduce testing, retesting and things like that for over 70s, well, we're going to get there at some point, and we're going to have to deal with that as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be age 70 and have to retake all of my licenses, all of my everything, my motorcycle license, my HGV license, whatever the hell I might have. I don't want to have to retake all of those tests because I reach a certain age. And that's the crazy thing, is that 70s... Oh look, there's a sheep. God, I didn't even see them, look. They're all so chill. That's where the sheep are. I was wondering where they were. Oh, so sweet. What was I saying? Yeah, there are plenty of people that are over 70 that are still plenty young enough and plenty fit enough to live as they would normally. So I really don't understand this stupid youth argument around elderly people. You know, and then you got all the youngsters that blame the elderly people for all of our economic problems and all of our, I don't know, like climate problems and things. It's like, honestly, you lot need to wind your friggin' necks in. Right? We just live in the era we are in. Yeah, it's no good blaming over 70s for problems that they were unknowingly causing, right? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. And we don't even know yet if they are actually to blame for a lot of the problems that we have today. So no, I don't buy that argument whatsoever. But anyway, we're kind of going a little bit off topic there. So yes, of course, your health degrades as you get older. Everyone knows that. But that doesn't mean that you need to paint every over 70 with the same brush. Not every over 70 has got poor eyesight. I have poor eyesight. Very poor eyesight. I have to wear glasses all the time because my eyesight is absolutely shit. My short-sightedness is or my I'm short-sighted, so I can see things, I can focus on things that are close up to me, but I struggle to focus on things that are far away. So what makes me so different to someone who is 70 years old or over 70 years old that might have the same eye condition? Nothing. There's no difference. So I really don't buy it. And especially when it comes to the motorcycle community is getting older. There have been recent studies that have confirmed that this generation of motorcyclists is going to be one of the oldest ever. So I'm sorry, but yes, I do want to encourage everyone, including those who are over 70, to continue riding, or at least maybe even pick up riding if they've never done it before. There's no reason why they can't unless there is some kind of physical ailment that physically restricts them from doing something like this. You know, if you're blind in one eye, for example, then fine, that's a pretty valid argument for that particular individual to not be driving or not be riding a motorcycle. But yeah, people over 70 should have the freedom of choice to determine whether or not they continue doing certain things, whether that is driving a car or riding a motorcycle. They should have that freedom. And I'm not going to be the one to turn around and say to an over 70-year-old, sorry, you can't drive anymore because of your age. Are you kidding me? That's such a stupid, naive, ridiculous argument. And it just winds me up. It winds me up because we will be there one day. We will all be there one day when we are that age. And then all of a sudden, you know, then we're being like discriminated against. And it's like, well, it's like the cycle seems to continue, you know? It's the same cycle. And no, 70 years old is not an old age. It's not an old age at all. So, in that regard, I don't care what anyone says. I totally disagree with that stupid, naive point of view. But it does come down to the individual, alright? If you do suffer from severe back pain, severe wrist pain, carpal tunnel, arthritis, things like that, then these things come down to you, whether or not you continue doing them. And that's absolutely fine with me. Even if you do have arthritis and you're able to ride your motorcycle for, even if it's just half an hour before it starts getting overly painful, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. No, I totally disagree to over 70s being retested, and I'm actually quite happy because the wifey thought, you know, it's a common thing that people think that after you reach the age of 70, when your license expires, you have to retake your test. And I'm actually glad to find out that that's not the case. Because I don't think it's fair. And I mean, things like medical examinations and things like that, okay, you can make the argument for those. Yeah, you can make the argument that people over a certain age should probably undergo some kind of medical exam to make sure that they are fit to continue driving and things like that. And I know that sounds awful, and I know that sounds really sad, and again, you know, because it is restricting freedom of over 70s. And I don't like saying it, but that's the thing. If you are unknowingly a danger to yourself and others around you, then yes, there does come to a point where it's probably a good idea to at least have a medical examination. But like I said, most 70, between 70, 75, 80 years old are still plenty fit enough to continue living out their lives as they normally would. Yeah, they might be a little bit slower or what have you, but it doesn't change the fact that they still have the ability to do things like riding motorcycles. As long as they have the will and desire to do it, that's all they should need. And I know that Prince Philip passed away a few years ago. You know, I remember him getting involved in some accidents and things like that. But he was over 90 years old when he was involved in some accidents. And ever since then, I believe, this is hearsay, so I don't know if this is the absolute truth, but I heard that he had some kind of accident or something like that, and after that point he decided no longer to drive himself anywhere. Again, I find that quite sad. Okay, getting over 90, yeah, again, health ends up exacerbated, doesn't it? Health issues, they seem to gradually get worse. I dread to think what my eyesight is going to be like when I'm 70 years old, honestly. I'm probably going to be partially blind. I don't know, maybe laser eye surgery will be that good that I'll just have some operations on my eyes and yeah, I'll be able to see again, but gosh. No, retesting, I don't agree with. And remember that these people, they came from the era that got their licenses when all they had to do was show up. They didn't have a proper test to do or anything like that. They just showed up and they got given a license. So if these people have been riding their whole lives on basically having no bureaucracy, no official training or testing, then who are we to say that they need to retake their tests? You know, these people have been riding their whole lives, had no problems riding, and all because they reach a certain age, then all of a sudden we're like, oh no, they've got to redo their test. You know, come on, give me a break. Yeah, stupidity, absolute stupidity. Now I've got to be careful down this road. Apparently, I have seen some speed cameras down here, but usually I go up this road, I don't go down it. And this is a 20-mile-an-hour road, which sucks. But I'm pretty sure I saw some kind of speed camera, so I'm going to be really careful. Someone behind me is going to get really pissed off, but well, there you go. There's a sign saying speed cameras, so you know. See if I can see it. See if I can remember where it is. It wasn't obvious. It was on like a lamppost or something like that. So no, it wasn't plain. It wasn't like a traditional speed camera. So I mean, maybe it isn't a speed camera. I don't know, but it sure looked like it to me when I came up this road the other day. Let's see. I mean, the person in front just kind of went for it. They didn't care. I'm sure it was on a lamppost somewhere. And it was facing this way. It was facing this way. So I don't know if it would actually be able to pick me up. Here we go, I think this is it. That's it, right there. Pretty sure that is a speed camera. Pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but pretty sure. Hopefully there's no more, but God, honestly, speed cameras on 20-mile-an-hour roads, Jesus. I don't know about you guys, but I find it really, really hard sticking to 20 mile an hour because it just feels far too slow. You can get out and run faster. I think I've made this argument before that if a cyclist can cycle faster, then vehicles are allowed to go on a particular road, then there's something wrong. Especially because you're going downhill. It's so dumb. Anyway, guys and gals, I hope that, you know, that I want to be sticking up for over 70s, alright? Like I said at the beginning, they always seem to get the brunt end of things, whether that be economics, whether that be in kind of quality of life, things like that. You know, we need to be sticking up for these people. We need to be helping them, because who's going to help them? There's not enough of these over 70s that can help themselves when it comes to these kinds of things. We, the younger generations, have to help them. We have to stick up for them. And you know what? I'm more than happy to stick up for over 70s, because they deserve it. They really do. And I don't want to see any over 70s give up riding motorcycles because of their age. No way. No way. Wow, that's a very, very pink Peugeot 107 or 102, whatever the bloody thing's called. So yeah, guys and gals, I mean, that's my take on it, and I know that there are limits to how much leeway we can give people, but at any point that we can give leeway to people, we should. And this is especially true with age groups over 70. Yeah, I think it should be more based on an individual basis, because you're going to have some 70-year-olds that are going to be very, very unhealthy, very unfit, and those kinds of people, you know, fine, there's a perfectly valid argument for them not to be on the roads. But you have the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where you get over 70s that are just as fit and healthy as when they were 40 years old. And the scary thing is, I'm not far off 40 now. So, yeah. I know that as well, there's like this, what's the word? This kind of consensus that over 70s are a bit clumsy and they make silly mistakes and things like that. I actually disagree. Incompetence is not something that is age-related. Incompetence is incompetence. You can have a 75-year-old make the same mistake as a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old. It doesn't mean that because of their age, they are all of a sudden totally just helpless. No. And everyone makes mistakes. Everyone, regardless of your age, everyone makes mistakes, whether you're 20 years old or 80 years old, 90 years old, everyone makes mistakes. And no 70-year-old wants to make errors. They're like everyone else. They don't want to make errors. They don't want to inconvenience people. They don't want to cause accidents. They just want to go about their day, live out their lives like everyone else. So no, again, that's another argument I don't buy. That, you know, elderly people, oh, they're clumsy, they make silly mistakes all the time, because they don't. Yeah, they don't. Come on. Let's give them a bit more credit than that, yeah? Because like I said earlier, they deserve it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I know this is a very sensitive subject, and I know that there are some opposing opinions on this, but I don't see anything wrong with sticking up for older generations. I don't see the issue there. So anyway, hopefully you guys can show some support as well, and I know that there are some viewers of our channel that are getting up there. They're in their 60s, approaching 70, and I'm absolutely certain they're riding every single day as well, no less, and I'm absolutely certain that they don't want anything like this to affect their not way of life, but their quality of life. Yeah, because a motorcycle, I've said this many times before, it heavily increases a person's quality of life. So there you have it. But thank you ever so much for joining me on today's ride all the way to the end of this video. Definitely go ahead and check out the video that we've got coming up on the end screen. Leave a like, hit subscribe, let us know what you think about this very sensitive subject down in the comment section below. And we will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.